Now let me tell you a little bit about Ann McGurty. She is CEO and founder of Strategize and Organize. Ann is a professional speaker, productivity and organizational coach, and author. Ann shows people how to work more effectively with less effort. Her entrepreneurial upbringing and corporate background mesh with her experience to get results for her clients. Ann's company, Strategize and Organize, improves productivity for individuals as well as organizations of all sizes and within all industries. She is the author of the book Lost in Your Own Office and a contributing author to Speaking Your Truth, Courageous Stories from Inspiring Women, Volume 2. If you want to learn more about Ann and her services, please visit her website at www.strategizeandorganize.com. She may be in Colorado, but she's nationally recognized as an expert and works with people in person and virtually throughout the U.S. to customize a system to make their lives more productive and organized. Also, if you do not already have Paper Tiger, you can purchase from Ann's affiliate link, which I will be copying into the chat section for you to pick up, and I will also be pasting her contact information into this chat section, so watch for that. In addition, if you're purchasing today, we have Paper Tiger is currently on sale at 20% off, and you will be getting that sale through her affiliate link as well. Since we provide these webinars to you for free, this will help offset her time. Ann, welcome, and thank you so much for your time and dedication to teaching others how to use Paper Tiger more effectively and productively.
All right, thank you, Janet, and thank you everyone who is on the call. I am so excited always to share with people about the Paper Tiger. I have been in the corporate world, I've been in the entrepreneurial world, and I've been a consultant for working with many people over the last 10 years specifically. And without the Paper Tiger, I don't feel that my business would have ever been this successful, because I have what I feel is the most effective revolutionary product to help people get organized. Not only do their desks look better and more organized and prettier, they know where to find things when they are looking for it. So that is one of the biggest benefits of using the Paper Tiger. Not only do you file it, but you know where to find it. And not only can you find it, but other people who work with you can find it. So the Paper Tiger, and now the Paper Tiger Online, is what we're going to be looking at today to help you create your efficient organizing filing system. Now, based on the statistics of people who are on the call today, we have about 50 people registered. There might be a few more people that have added onto the call since we got started. And out of those 50 people, approximately 30 are currently using Paper Tiger. Now, for those of you that are on the call and are currently using Paper Tiger, it would be really fun if you could just post some questions or notes on the chat section and let us know some of the successes of things that you have organized using the Paper Tiger. Now, also, on the other hand, if there are challenges that you have where you would like to use the Paper Tiger differently, indicate so as well, and we can quickly and easily answer those questions. Out of the 50 people that are registered, 15 people or 16 people said that they have not yet decided if they're going to be going, 15 people said that they're not sure how to organize things other than paper. And I'm going to be giving some examples today of what it looks like to organize things other than paper. Okay, and last note is it's natural that people are thinking about the paperless world. Naturally, it does make sense the way the world is going that you're going to want to have a paperless work environment. Yet we still do have lots of paper. Fortunately, the Monticello company has come up with a new product called the Digital Tiger, which will answer your questions about how to go paperless going forward. That solution is going to be available to you all shortly. All right, so what we have here is our dashboard. And when we have the dashboard, we have a glimpse of everything that is going on in your account. And here you can see in my dashboard that I have the option of creating some new databases. I have several databases. I also have information regarding my account. I also have information regarding people and permissions, which is going to be referring to, I'll open it, which is referring to if I was to have a network environment where multiple people were using the Paper Tiger in my work environment. The account refers to what account I have, and you have the availability of having a basic, pro, business, elite, etc. And these are all based on how many people you want using your Paper Tiger system. You want to keep all of your information secure so that no one else can access it. And it's the HTTPS indication here on the browser that tells you that you are in a secured environment when you are using this software or any other software for that matter. You can change people who have permissions to be the owner of the account. And we certainly don't want you to use this one, but you can cancel your account here at the bottom should you decide that this is no longer something that you want to use. Okay, so going back to my dashboard, now that you know some of the basics for the operational pieces, let's go ahead and create a new database. Okay, you can see I've got several databases, Anne's files, Joe's files. Let's call it, let's see, this, for some reason I'm going to say that the name of the company is the Stone Company. I say Stone Company because I'm in a stone building right now and it's cold. So we're going to create a new database. We've now set up the company files for the Stone Company. And in the Paper Tiger, what you want to think about when you're organizing your filing system is think about how you use your paper files. And the way we use files are referred to as locations. There's two primary locations that we think about with in the normal world, the non-Paper Tiger world. People think about reference files and they think about archive files. And that's a little difficult for people because what happens with that is the reference files become incredibly overwhelming. The files are huge. You have them spread all over the place, from your desk to your credenza to a room down the hall. And it's really hard to find things because they're spread out all over the place. So I like to add, with the Paper Tiger, another location, and we call it action files. So I'm going to set up, in our database, I'm going to set up a location called action files. And the location name is going to be action because we're referring to the functionality, the purpose of that filing drawer. The action drawer, in the description, what you would do is say, these are the current projects or ongoing project files located in, and you describe exactly where it is so other people know where they are. Generally, this is a location that is in the immediate right-hand drawer of Anne's desk. Now, why I say the immediate right-hand drawer is your action files, since they are current projects or projects that are going on a continual basis, you want them to be as convenient as possible. And if you're right-handed, obviously it makes sense to be a right-hand drawer. And if you're left-handed, go ahead and create that space at the left-hand side of your drawer. Now think about, in that drawer, how many physical files could you put into that drawer? Well, for most people, the average action drawer is about 20 items. If you have more than 20 projects going on, we can certainly create 2 or 3 drawers for all your action files. Very few times have I ever had to go beyond 20 or 30 items working with a client. So we're going to go ahead and add that location. Now then what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and add the other location, which is your typical reference location, reference files. And I want you to think about where would you put files that are seldom used and still necessary to maintain. Okay, that may be the 4-drawer filing cabinet down the hall near the back door. Okay, so this is something that means that if you're going to need to refer to your reference files, it's something where you actually may need to get up and go to it, but it's not something that you want to do frequently that way. If it's something you frequently are referring to, then it belongs in your action drawer. Most people may have anywhere from 100 to 200 to 500 reference files. It all depends on the nature of your work style and the type of paper files that come in your way. As we go forward into the digital world, your reference files will become less and less because people are finding out that it's very simple to start scanning papers and documents that no longer need to take up the real estate in a filing drawer. So the Digital Tiger will help you find those things when you're ready to transition into that program as well. Okay, so right now we have set up 2 basic locations. And since I mentioned early on that there's another location that people are used to called Archive, I'm going to set up Archive as well. These are the files in the storage closet in the basement. And there might be 200 archive files there. The Paper Tiger gives you the option of how often you like to review files. And this is something where we might say, let's go ahead and review this on the end of the year every year. And we're going to go ahead and review it at the end of this month, which is the end of the year, next month, and create that new location. Now, one of the things I just added here is a review frequency, and that is going to be triggering a reminder on the Paper Tiger system. When you close it and when you open it, it will give you a pop-up within a few days of that date to remind you to go look at that file. Okay, now we have our basic files set up. The next thing you want to do is be prepared with the right inventory, the right supplies on hand. A lot of times people do not file because it's a pain in the neck to have to go find a file, go find a marker, go find a label, or go figure out how to set up the printer to print the label for that just one file. So what happens is it seems like too much work. And if it's too much work, people won't do it. The Paper Tiger is putting into place a process where you can go ahead and set up your tabs and labels for your files when you get the system started. When you have everything you need on hand, you will easily refer back to the system because it's easy and it's already set up. There are self-cup tabs that you can use for your supplies, or what I'm going to recommend is that you are going to use Avery file folder labels to put into your files. I'm going to back up for a second here, and hopefully you can see my screen of what I'm referring to as the type of files that you're going to be setting up. So what I was saying here is in the Paper Tiger, it has an option of print tabs and labels. And we use the default system of using Avery filing folders. And you choose the labels that you are going to put in your hanging file folders. This only supplies that you're going to need in addition to the Paper Tiger software or download is Pendaflex hanging file folders, and these little tabs right here are what I am referring to right now. So when you set up your system, you're going to want to have on hand all of the Pendaflex file folders that you need and the little index tabs to go ahead and put into each of your locations. So say, for instance, we were going to set up our action and reference files to start your organizing. You will go ahead and use this part of the program to generate your labels for those folders and the hanging folders. So the program will print out in a PDF, which will go into an Avery index tab label for your files. These sheets are going to be, as I said, the Avery file labels, they're going to be adhesive little stickers that you put on the index carded tabs that come with your filing supplies. And you put those stickered labels onto your file tabs, and then you are ready to go forward with your filing. So I had 20 action files, so take 20 of these and line them up and get them in your drawer so that you are ready to go. And then go ahead and do the same thing again with the reference files, the tabs that are generated, and you will have your first couple of drawers set and ready to go to start your filing. Okay, so now that we have set that up, we are going to go back to our database. You now have the tab set up for your action and reference, and you are going to go about starting your organizing process of taking all the papers off your desk, and some of it might be on the floor, but you're getting ready to put things into action. So the first thing I always tell people is to open up your reference drawer, and the very first file that you are going to have is any paperwork regarding the paper tiger. And in there, what you want to do is think about what other words would you refer to when you are going to look for this file later down the line. And it might be organizing, it might be filing, it might be Monticello, it might be strategize and organize, or McGurty. These are all keywords that you might want to refer to later down the line if you can't remember the name of what you call the file. I'll give you another example. We're now in the reference drawer, and most people, the first file they might have is one that they call auto. So if this is a personal home filing system, you might have a file that says auto, but someone else may be looking for that file, and they might be saying, where is the vehicle file? Where is the car file? Where is the Ford file? Okay, here are some other words that other people might be referring to. So if you had 1,000 files and they're looking for under the V, they might be a little frustrated because they can't find it because you had it filed at the beginning of the file drawers in A, and they're looking under V, or maybe in the middle of all of your file drawers under F for Ford. The magic with the paper tiger is that no matter what you call it, it doesn't matter. Because what happens is when you go to look for the file later down the line, you might type in the word car, and what it does is it highlights where that word is, whether it's in the item name or in a keyword, so that when you pop up that search, you will find that it is in your reference file number 2 within the auto file. Now say, for instance, though, you had some information regarding your insurance, and you put in the word insurance, and nothing's coming up. And you're thinking, that's odd. Or you might think, or you might think it's under a dealership. You don't know the name of the dealership, so you just put in dealership. You still can't find the file. Third word down, you're going car. Darn it. Okay, there it is. So what you want to do is, if you've tried it a couple of times and you realized you didn't find it under the keyword you were looking for, go ahead and add that keyword. And know that the next time you are looking for that file, you can reduce it from that maybe 28 seconds to 10 seconds because each of those keywords are now in there. Okay, well, let's go back to organizing my file cabinet. One of the things I tell people is, in this webinar, I like to talk about real-life examples about what is in my drawer and on my inbox that needs to be filed. And coincidentally, one of the questions that we received from one of the attendees today is that person asked, how do you organize something like medical files? And my question was, well, medical files regarding an office of patients or medical files regarding the back office? And the response was, I'd like to know how to organize my personal medical files. Okay, well, that's a great question. Well, there may be several things that you need to file. Okay, let's look at in your reference drawer. Right now, you may want to create a file called medical. And what might be in there is your policy, your agent's information, and it may be historical records. Well, that's all fine and dandy. And now you have a reference file for your medical information. But what if you're in a situation where you are dealing with a current health issue? Well, that goes under the definition of a project, a current project that you're dealing with, or something that is going on long term. So this might be current medical. And this is something that is in your action files because it's something that you're referring to actively at this time. And this might include insurance claims. It might be explanation of benefits from health providers, from insurance company. Sorry. It might be bills to verify. So you go ahead and you add that to your action file. So now what's going to happen is you have two files referring to medical. So when you get a new piece of information in the mail or you pick up at a doctor's office a paper that needs to be filed regarding medical, you can make a decision whether it's something that goes in the reference file or the action file. One of the extra benefits to this is you're not clogging up your action file with your policy and your historical records when you're working on a project to organize what needs to be handled with your current medical information. So you can separate them comfortably and easily using the Paper Tiger's separation of the action and reference files. So say, for instance, now the year is over, or your historical information regarding medical is not so important anymore for you to maintain. You can decide that the action file, what you can do is you can identify this year's information. You can then transfer it by moving it. I beg your pardon. You can move it. I beg your pardon. What we're going to do is we're going to merge it. And what you want to do is you want to move it and merge it with an existing file called medical. And you want to go ahead and merge these files. You can add or remove information, make changes, and set a new action date here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to merge the item. And now what you see is all of the keywords that were in the action file have now been compiled into the reference file. When I go to search for the word medical, the only file that comes up is the reference file. I'm going to go back to the action files, and you're going to see that that file is no longer in there. So this is a very simple way to manage how you organize your files. One of the, okay, I'm going to go back here to the action. I'm going to go to actually a different database. I'm going to go back to, let's see, the Stone Company. I'm going to go back. Oops, sorry. Jan and I were just saying how good we were doing with technology this time. And here we go. And I'm having a couple of issues. I'm going to go back to my dashboard and go back to a database with a lot more information in it. I'm going to go to literally these are my business files. And as you can see in my action files, I have lots of different information. I went through and at one point, this is kind of outdated now, but I had papers on my desk that were past taxes, and I had 2008 miscellaneous tax papers. So when I looked at that pile of paper, I had some issues that I was dealing with regarding past taxes, and these were all the keywords that I added so that when I was going through my papers, I wanted to remember how to find them. I had a stack of information regarding a training program, and the name of it was GO system, and the keywords that would have helped me to find it were training materials and the name of the system. I had some other information that was currently going on for the SBA. I was doing a workshop, and I had papers for the June workshop, the July workshop. And now let's say that we had set up, we were in current date and we had set up all of these files. The thing that holds people back sometimes with creating files is that they're afraid that if they can't see it, they won't find it and they won't ever refer back to them. Well, the interesting thing is that with the Paper Tiger, you can then create a report, and you can create a report of everything that you just put into your filing area. And we're going to say, let's look at everything that we just inventoried in my action files. So we go to the advanced options and we generate a report of everything that I have just put into my action files. So now I have a list of everything that was input into the action file drawer, and I can either print it out, put it into a document management system like the Google Docs, and we can file that, or we physically can put it in the first file folder in the front of the action file drawer so that we can pull it out and look at it should our web not be available to pull it up when we go to refer to our filing system. This is one of the greatest benefits of using the Paper Tiger, is that you're having a visual inventory of everything that is in your file cabinet. Another really cool thing about having a report with the Paper Tiger is that at the end of the year, when I'm mentioning that you might want to go through and clean out some of your files, is you can run a report called the File Cleanout Report. And as you can see, in the File Cleanout Report, it lists all of your files and it lists all of your keywords. But it gives you another added benefit, is that you can print out this report and make decisions of what you want to do with those files. So for instance, if you are wanting to tackle all of those files that, say for instance, were in your action drawer, you were running out of room, you would print out this report and look at it and say, okay, do I want to review it because I forget what the heck is in it? Or is it time to toss it? Or do I want to transfer it? And you can indicate where you want to transfer, which could be 1, archives, or 2, the reference files, or 3, transfer to another person. or you can do nothing and just leave it where it is. Once you take the time to go through each of these files, what's going to happen is you are now in a position to delegate this list to someone else, and they can actually do the physical work for you of moving it to another area, of pulling it and, say, for instance, tossing it and throwing it out, or giving it to you to review it. So you now are empowered to manage your files and by delegating the work to someone else. Okay, so now that you've made some decisions with your files, I'm going to go back to something that I kind of gave you. Oops, hello. One of the things that I taught you is how to move things once you've made the decision to move them. We're going to go into the database of my business database. And okay, say here, for instance, I had something in my, people say, let's organize something other than just papers. Okay, so say for instance, you decide you're going to go through a storage closet, and I was organizing for a client the other day, and she was a big-time skier, and in her storage unit, she had her mink coat, and she had ski jacket and pants. Well, you know, that could be really valuable, because if you look into your main closet and you realize that you can't find your mink jacket, it might be kind of scary. So why not use the Paper Tiger to set up a new location called 9th floor storage and itemize what you have in there. And then, say for instance, in her case, she's now retired. She is anti-fur now and doesn't ski anymore. So what we've done is she's taken those two items and she's going to toss them, because what we did is we took them and we brought them to a consignment store. We're going to go ahead and toss it and hit toss, and we are no longer showing these items in the storage unit. If you notice though, it says pending toss. So what happened to these? They're still showing up in that location. Well, the Paper Tiger knows that people get really busy. And when they get busy, they get distracted and may not remember it when they clicked a button there. So the Paper Tiger gives you a listing of when you move files from one area to another, what you did with it. And once you physically make the move of taking that item or that file and take it from one area to another, then you can go ahead and confirm it. And it confirms that you now have actually moved it. And when I type in the word Aspen, you'll see that we no longer see anything in the inventory system or filing system for that item. So for those of you who get really busy, you can choose to confirm it or not when you are moving things so that you don't lose track of where you're moving your files. Okay, I want to show something here where here I just jumped from working with paper to working with items that are in storage. On the Paper Tiger website, there is a page that refers to, under the Paper Tiger link here, an article talking about not just for filing paper. This article here was written by Stephanie Callahan, who is also a Paper Tiger consultant. Her information is here, Stephanie Callahan of Callahan Solutions. So she put together this wonderful article telling you about how to organize things other than just paper. A very common item that people like to organize is their huge collections of books. So you may have a bookshelf full of books, and I can't quite enlarge this, but when we were talking about earlier about setting up locations, what you would do in the Paper Tiger is you would set up a location. We would set up a new location, and we would call it bookshelf. The description is Anne's collection of books. in her office. Capacity is, and you indicate how many books you have. Got 500 books. Let's go ahead and add this location. Okay, so now we're into the Paper Tiger. We opened up that location, and now we have a drawer full of 500 open items available to create the bookshelf. Remember I said you want to print labels. So you're going to want to still go ahead and print some kind of labels, and you decide what size Avery label you want to use to put on the spine of your books. Think about in a library. The library systems have little labels on the spine of the books so you can identify where they are cataloged when you go to look for them in the bookshelves within the library. You then would go ahead, create the labels for your bookshelf. You'll generate the label tabs, and you'll want to figure out logistically what you want and aesthetically what you want them to look like, so that when you put them on your books, they look like you want to put them. So the word that you used as the name of the location, which was bookshelf, will be printed on the label. So you may want to just say 1, 2, 3. Just use no name as a location temporarily to print out the labels to put on the spine of the book. So once you have them, you can put them on the spine of the book and then start going back to your location. And then start adding the names of the books. The first book might be, and it doesn't matter whether they're alphabetical or not. The name of the book could be, I'll use my own book, Lost in Your Own Office. You can use keyword and McGurty as the author. You can use another keyword on productivity, and then hit or filing, Paper Tiger, all those keywords that may remind you of what's in that book. And now what happens is you have a label number 1, and you put it on the spine of the book for Lost in Your Own Office, and then you'll be able to find it. Let's do another book. We might have a book called, I've got Daily Reflections for Highly Effective People. And I think it's Stephen Covey. All right. Now another thing I might want to do is we may want to categorize the name of types of books that we have. We might want to do business books, financial books, personal books. Let's go ahead and put this under the category of business. And we're going to add that to our bookshelf. So now what we're doing is we've created another book. We're going to put the label 2 on it and know that we now have another itemized book within our Paper Tiger. I've added the word category, which is now for those people who have a ton of files or a ton of books. And say, for instance, they decide that they're going to move from one office to another, or they may realize that in their bookshelf that they may have a lot of different personal books. So they may have The Joy of Cooking as one of their books, and then they realize, that's a personal book. So later down the line, after they inventoried all 200 or 500 of their books, they may realize by sorting their categories that they have one book that has no category, they may have one book that's business and one that's personal, and they may decide, let's go ahead and transfer all of their personal books to their home and get them out of their office. So as you can see with the Paper Tiger, it's more than just filing. You have a tool to be efficient and organized with how you manage not only the paper, but the stuff that you have in your office or your home. Going back to Stephanie's beautiful article on how to organize things other than paper, you can use it to organize your CD collection. or DVDs. You may have sheets or albums full of stamps. You may have storage containers. And all of these things can be listed in the Paper Tiger so that you can manage what's in there. I have an example that I worked with a client where they had moving boxes. How many times have you moved or stored something and all you put on the name of the location was living room? Well, it may turn out that you have 6 boxes called living room. If you create a Paper Tiger inventory of what's in that box, you may realize that Aunt Sally's candlesticks are in living room box number 1, rather than going through 6 of them looking for something. Or you may look in the bedroom box and realize that your winter gloves are in a box number 3 or 4. So, as I said, it's about using an inventory of what is in each of the different locations, and by knowing what is in that area, and let's say, remember Aspen? You now know you don't have it anymore because you put it away. But if you are looking for that car file, you can see all the different things that you have used the keyword car, and you'll see in here that as specific as you use or as little as you use will help you identify where things are at. I have my auto file with my car. I have car for a rental car. I have, what else do I have? You can see the word car is just part of a lot of words. And the more detail that you put in here, cards, you'll see everything that has the word cards. I keep cards from, you keep cards for things. I have a software program that I use regarding, send out cards. That's a product that I use. All of these things are ways that you can inventory what you have and know that when you're looking for it, whatever word that you used in the keywords is where you'll find it. And you'll see under family, I didn't put the word cards, but it's right there and you can find it. And you may decide you don't want to keep these things anymore. Like for instance, this CD, I don't use that anymore. So I might want to just say, go ahead and trash it. And it's no longer in my CD case because I just went ahead and tossed it. All right. Well, every time we have a webinar, there's something a little different. And today my focus was to help you think about things other than just paper and think about all the different areas of what you're doing in your life to want to get organized. I think this is fun as lots of people have wine collections. They might want to identify all the different wines that they have, and here Stephanie refers to not only are we tracking the number of bottles, but some people are real connoisseurs and know which is good for steak, wine, fruit and cheese. And that way, when you go to look for it, you can put in the keyword steak plus wine, and you'll find which wines that you have that go best with wine, go with steak. All right, let's go to our questions, Janet. We've got about 5 more minutes left, and see if anybody has come up with any questions here.
Okay, you answered one of the questions, I think, very well with what is the best way to use Paper Tiger for categorizing medical information concerning her own insurance files. One comment that we have is not necessarily a question, but you had asked for comments, and Kelleen Owens tells us that she loves the Paper Tiger. It is wonderful for our contract management.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's awesome. Then another question is, can this be used for inventory? I answered this privately, but of course it can be. Whatever you're inventorying, just put that in the place of what Ann was talking about, the books, book collection or the CDs or whatever. Again, on our web page for not just for filing paper. You can find that on our website at thepapertiger.com. Click on Paper Tiger tab at the top, and then there's a link over to the left that says not just for filing paper. The direct link is thepapertiger.com/tour # and number 4. So then there's another comment that says, if I already use Paper Tiger but not the digital version and I want to move them over to the digital version, is this easy? To answer that, you're talking about Paper Tiger Online, in which the system that Anne has been showing today, that's what I'm assuming that you're asking. That answer is yes. You simply create your Paper Tiger Online account, either a Pro plan or one of the multi-user plans, and then you would click on the button that says Import an old database, and we have an option there for you to contact our support team, or you can import the database yourself. If there's a problem with importing, you would simply email your database to our support team at support@thepapertiger.com and let them know the email address in which you have created your online account, and they will be able to import it for you. And that is all of the questions that I see in the list so far. Anne, do you have any other anything else to add?
Kind of quiet on the questions today, and that's great. Everybody is in a different place when it comes to their filing and getting set up. What I'd like to do is just share with you that I've learned a lot of people have the Paper Tiger, and as we said, maybe a third of you already own the system, and a lot of people have it sitting there and they're not doing anything with it. And I think what I'd like to emphasize is that here it is, mid-November, almost Thanksgiving, and people are really busy in the holiday seasons right now, and they're really not thinking about their New Year's resolutions yet. However, that being said, why don't we who are on the call today make a decision to go forward and be prepared for the new year now, and get your system set up now so that you're not spending the month of January getting organized. You will start the new year out bright and ready to get organized. Naturally, it makes sense to really reinforce your New Year's resolutions by having systems in place so you can hit the ground running. I do offer a free 30-minute phone consultation with anyone who is on these calls, and I'm happy to help you finally put this information and process and system in place within the time of that 30-minute free phone call. If you have your product sitting on the shelf, call me. It's not a sales opportunity. It is totally a working session to help you get your program working so that you are using it and finally can get all of your papers into the system and move forward. If you feel that you need some process evaluation or want some help with getting organized or how to get yourself to the next level so that you're prepared to go paperless after the new year with the Digital Tiger, I'm happy to consult with you and do some strategy on getting yourself organized. I do charge for that, but I offer a very inexpensive coaching program that for like $297 to spend a month with me on helping you get organized and going paperless in the new year. So I know it's a little bit of a sales pitch, but there is some freeness there where you can talk to me for half an hour to learn about how to once and for all stop having piles of paper. I had a goal a long time ago. I had been using the Paper Tiger for a while, and my dream was to have a paperless office. And I now do have a paperless office. The only paper I have is paper that is current action. And my reference files are only things that are absolutely required for me to hang on to. Like, for instance, passports or physical policies that I want to leaf through that I really do want to refer to. You can have that dream too of having that beautiful paperless office, but the first place to start is by using the Paper Tiger to start thinking about a methodology that will help you to file things, and the greatest benefit is to know where to find it when you absolutely need it. That's all I have for today, Janet. If you'd like to close out and tell us some more about that, the raffle or the giveaway for the Kindle, I'm sure they want to hear about that. And again, my contact information so I can help you to move forward. Thanks.
And awesome job. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time and the helpful tips and helping us to get organized and to use Paper Tiger more effectively. Okay, everyone, you can get started today with a coaching session with Ann. Again, she's offering a special for a limited time that will give you 30 free minutes on the phone with her, where you can discuss, the way you handle your office flow, and that kind of thing, and she can tell you what she can do for you. She will, then after that first 30 free minutes, you will be able to have weekly calls with her and unlimited emails in addition for an additional $297, and you can't beat that for customizing a system just for you. Call or email her to get on her schedule. Again, you can contact her at her email address, amcgurty@strategizeandorganize.com, or phone her at 303-881-0174. And her web address is www.strategizeandorganize.com. You'll be working more productive in no time. Again, I have copied her contact information into the chat section. I will copy that one more time in case you missed that earlier. And in addition to that, I will copy her affiliate link in case you do not already have Paper Tiger, so that you can buy Paper Tiger from her, and she will get the commission on that sale. If you want to enter the contest, we have contest details on our contest page, which is at thepapertiger.com/contest. We want to thank you for attending today's webinar, and again, we do plan to post the webinar recording on our website, so you can refer back to it whenever you need to. That will be under the webinar category from our blog. Please feel free to give us your feedback by emailing us at sales@thepapertiger.com. And Ann, did you want to add anything else?
Nope, that sounds good. I hope you all have a great, productive day.
Okay, awesome. All right, everyone. Thanks again. We appreciate you using Paper Tiger, and have a great week.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.